Welcome to this week's iClass given by Rabbi Mendy Lowenthal from Chabad of South Kensington. This week's Parshah, the Torah teaches us an interesting law. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 22. V'chi yihiyeh be'ish chet mishpat maves. If a man commits a chet, a sin, for which he is sentenced to death, v'huma, and he is put to death, v'talisa eisei al ha'etz, you shall then hang him on a tree. At face value, the verse is teaching a law about how the courts treat someone liable for capital punishment. It's saying that if a severe criminal is, God forbid, sentenced to death, then the body should be hung on a tree. During the eulogy of his foremost student, the Ramak, Rabbi Isaac Luria, also known as the Arizal, shed light on a deeper meaning on this verse. According to the deeper meaning, the verse is not talking about the death of a criminal, but rather the death of someone so innocent, so pure, that we cannot justify his death. V'chi yihiyeh be'ish, and if it will be to a man, chet mishpat mavet. Chet can also mean missing. Mishpat mavet is the judgment or reason for his death. So chet mishpat maves, the reason for his death is missing. There's no reason why he should die. V'humas, but he dies anyway. V'talise eisei al eitz, we blame his death on the tree of knowledge. Which is beautiful. He was eulogizing his student, and he was saying that his student had no reason to die. The only reason he died is because of the tree of knowledge. Before the sin of the tree of knowledge, there was no death in the world. And then when Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, the concept of death came into the world. At face value, this statement can be traced back to the Talmud in Baba Batra, page 17a. The Talmud reads, our rabbis taught, 4 died through the counsel of the serpent, namely, Benjamin, the son of Jacob, Amram, the father of Moses, and Yishai, the father of David, and Kilab, the son of David. In volume 24 of the Lubavitcher Rebbe's published talk, he analyzes these 2 statements. Is the Arizal statement identical to that of the Talmud? The Arizal talks of blaming the passing of his disciple on the tree. And the Talmud talks of the snake or serpent as the cause of those deaths for the aforementioned people. Let's take a look at the sin of the tree of knowledge. We have 2 elements here. Number 1, the tree. Number 2, the snake. Is the tree evil? Let's read Rashi in Genesis chapter 3, verse 7. Fig leaves, that is the tree of which they had eaten. With that which they had sinned, they were rectified, but the other trees prevented them from taking their leaves. The verse is telling us about the fig leaves that Adam and Eve wore. Rashi comments that this was the same tree that they had sinned with. Fig leaves are kosher. So the tree is not so evil. In fact, it's a kosher tree. In fact, some commentators say that the prohibition to eat from the tree of knowledge was only for a few hours, because Adam and Eve were created on Friday, according to the Torah's account of creation, and they were commanded not to eat from the tree until Shabbat, which was only in a couple of hours. The tree was a tree of knowledge. Knowledge is good. At least it's not evil. The snake, on the other hand, wasn't such a nice character. Hasidic teachings explain that the snake represents our self-awareness and evil, an ego. A person is giving time in this world to shake off the self-awareness or our ego which was given to us by the snake. Sometimes one could be unsuccessful in shaking off this ego, and a person can die as a result of the snake's venom, which is the ego. The Talmud is talking about 4 rabbis that were very great rabbis, but were not fully able to shake off the venom of the snake, the self-awareness, the ego that had been given to us, and therefore they died as a result. The Arizal, however, was referring to death caused by no other reason than the tree. Let's read Psalm chapter 66, verse 5. King David says, "He is terrible in his doing towards the children of man." How can Hashem be described as terrible? How can King David describe Hashem as doing bad? The Midrash explains that Hashem had planned for death to be in this world from the beginning. But Hashem created the world in such a way that first there was no death, and then, because of the sin with the tree of knowledge, man, Adam and Eve, brought death into the world. Hashem organized that through the tree, death should be brought into the world. There are some people like the Ramak, the student of the Arizal, who were so holy that they would not otherwise die if not for the tree that Hashem had planted into the world in the beginning of creation. Let's look at chapter 44 of the Tanya. "And although one may ask, who is the man, where is he, who would dare presume in his heart to approach and attain even 1,000th part of the degree of love felt by Moses, the faithful shepherd? Nevertheless, a minute portion and particle of his great goodness and light illuminate the community of Israel in each generation. Only the glow from Moses' soul is present in the soul of all Israel in a manner of great obscurity and concealment. No one can claim to be on the level of Moses. No one can claim to be in the level of the student of the Arizal. But the Tanya is saying that we all have somewhat of a spark of Moses inside each and every single one of us. That spark is deep inside of us. We need to bring it out. By studying the deeper aspects of the Torah, says the Rebbe, we will bring out this deeper, pure aspect of us. Shabbat Shalom.